From an Emmy Award to a Golden Globe Award, we all know Tom Selleck is a talented actor, and this time, a Blue Blood star confirmed what we already knew about his on-set behavior. But did you know, before Blue Bloods, he also had the lead role in Magnum P.I.? In fact, he already had quite the fan base from those days. Nowadays, he stars in Blue Bloods, for which he received a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Drama Series, along with 5 People's Choice Awards. Add to this his 4 Emmy and 6 Golden Globe nominations, it's clear to see that he's an incredibly talented actor. To summarize, you've seen him in a bunch of movies. For starters, he starred in the Emmy-nominated movie Ike: Countdown to D-Day, and that movie was also nominated in the film category at the Monte Carlo Television Festival in 2004. You've also seen him in other films like Reversible Errors on CBS and Louis L'Amour's Crossfire Trail. In fact, this one even set a new record as the highest-rated movie in the history of basic cable. Not to mention, Tom even made his Broadway debut in 2001. He starred in 1,000 Clowns, a romantic comedy at the Longacre Theater in New York. At this time, it was the highest-grossing play in the theater's history. Tom hasn't just been successful in his acting career, he's also pretty influential behind the scenes. He was an executive producer on the Jesse Stone series and was a co-writer for Jesse Stone: Death in Paradise and Jesse Stone: No Remorse. He was also the executive producer for the film Monty Walsh and the last 2 seasons of Magnum P.I. All in all, he's a veteran actor, and one would expect him to be just as likable on set. Well, it seems we're not wrong, as Blue Bloods cast members have confirmed what we all suspected. Will Estes said that Tom was incredibly professional, and if you didn't already know, Will portrays Jamie, the youngest brother of the Reagan family. On screen, one of Jamie's biggest mentors and champions is his father and police commissioner Frank Reagan, who's played by Tom. But it's not just him. Frank can be considered the emotional core of the series, and it seems that his and Will's mentor-mentee relationship isn't just limited to the screen. After all, Will seems to really look up to the guy. Will said that it's funny how Frank's personality in the series isn't much different from Tom's off-screen. Will called him professional and studied, and praised him for knowing his character inside and out. He described what it felt like working with someone like him, saying that he had to stay on his toes since Tom always executed his scene perfectly. Will said that this actually made working with him more fun. But of course, there's more to Tom than him just nailing his lines every week. The show might not be what it is without him. Will revealed that he architects the scenes he's in many small ways. He thought it important to stay ahead of the audience, because we can't be going around making insanely accurate predictions, right? He also advised on how dialogue could be trimmed if it was not progressing the story or the character arc in the right way. According to Will, Tom's capable of writing, producing, and directing the show, but he prefers to simply continue to be an actor. If anything, he consistently tries to learn from his co-stars by trying to soak up everything he can. But Will isn't the only one who holds Tom in high regard. Donnie Wahlberg also has a lot of respect for him. He plays Danny Reagan on the show and has a bunch of scenes with Tom. So naturally, the two actors have had many opportunities to get to know each other. In an interview with Outsider, Donnie made it absolutely clear that he absolutely adores the actor. And, well, considering his decades worth of experience in the industry, it shouldn't come as a surprise that Tom's a delight to work with. Donnie described him as very experienced and smart, along with being highly dedicated, much like himself. Sometimes they can both see the hidden game and want to achieve the same thing, but have very different ways of doing so. And let's just say, most actors love going against someone who will challenge them. It stops them from getting complacent and encourages them to keep striving for even better performances. Donnie said that it was almost a dance between the two of them. He just knew when he had to step up and when Tom could really use his input, but he also knew when he needed to step back and let him work his magic. In fact, the relationship between the actors isn't much different from the relationship between Frank and Danny on the show. The two have nothing but respect for each other. Not to mention, this dynamic has given us some absolutely thrilling storylines over the past 200 episodes. I mean, Donnie even admitted that Tom is one of the reasons he joined the show. One reason why Donnie and Tom get along with each other so well is because Donnie sees a lot of his father in Tom's character, Frank. In an interview with the Huffington Post, he talked about how he could relate to Danny, being one of the groups of siblings who often fought yet still make up with each other.
He's kind of making a habit of this.
I think I'm gonna change the statute of limitations on how long we have to wait till Jamie gets home to eat.
He even called Blue Bloods a throwback show, saying that shows like that aren't made anymore. Apparently, nowadays, they don't focus on a family like that anymore. Instead, it's always about the family down the street selling heroin, or the husband with 3 wives, or some other unusual family. While reading the pilot, what attracted him the most was the family dinner scene. He described his own experience, which was quite similar to the scene on the pilot. He had felt the heat of his dad staring down at him while arguing with his sister, much like the heat there was with Frank and Aaron, played by Bridget Moynihan. Donnie also revealed that similar to how the family teased Frank in the series, his family also did the same thing with his father. He called him a very tough guy, and they all tried to break through his hard exterior and make him laugh. Well, he also has a father-son relationship with Tom, much like Frank and Danny on the show. It's been over a decade since Blue Bloods aired, and the relationship between the two has only deepened since then. In fact, he even calls him dad and Tom calls him son. That's how they talk to each other off camera now. At first, Tom used to grumble at him like, "This music guy's kind of weird," but now the relationship has developed to the point that he calls him a son. He'll even give him a hug, and that's a pretty big deal. For a show such as Blue Bloods, it works best if the actors are able to actively portray family dynamics that we're all well aware of. This is why Tom and Donnie are so important to the show. They're one of the many reasons Blue Bloods connects with fans so well.
Well, since this morning, the future Mrs. Jameson Reagan.
What? Get out! Oh my goodness, congratulations!
But what exactly is it that makes fans love Frank Reagan so much? The fact that Frank is a good and believable father, while also being a good commissioner, is also why fans love him so much. He reminds us all of someone in our lives we look up to. All his bonding scenes with his children, and scenes in which he makes hard decisions for the greater good, make fans admire him. Not to mention, him being the heart of the Reagan family also makes him the heart of the show. Well, this is all for what the Blue Bloods cast has said about Tom Selleck.